Ephesus was one of the most famous cities of the ancient Mediterranean. It was the second biggest city of the Roman Empire, and today it is one of the largest Roman archaeological sites in the eastern Mediterranean. Each year, thousands of visitors descend on the region to roam the ancient city. So, whether you are planning a trip or just curious to know more,
Ephesus was an ancient Greek port city located near the western shores of modern-day Turkey. It is roughly 80 kilometers south of Izmir, where the Aegean Sea meets the former estuary of the river Castros. Back in the day, it was one of the most important Greek cities and the most important trading hub of the Mediterranean. For centuries, the city served as a crossroads between the East and West. It was the second biggest city of the Roman Empire. Nowadays, the town of Selçuk in modern Turkey is the gateway to Ephesus.
Ephesus has been a city since Neolithic times, but it came to full prominence under the Roman Empire as the capital of Asia Minor. As the second most important city of the Roman Empire, Ephesus grew and prospered. Its populace was largely educated and wealthy, while its buildings were richly decorated and celebrated the interests and the good fortune of its inhabitants. Today, visitors come to see the city's impressive historical imprint for themselves.
The city came to prominence under the ancient Greeks, who built the famed Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Though only one column remains of the temple today, it was said to be very grand and impressive indeed. After ebbs and flows in the city's fortunes, Ephesus became a city under Roman rule in 133 BC and the capital of Asia Minor in 27 BC. This is seen as a historical turning point for the city, which truly flourished and became second in importance only to Rome within the vast Roman Empire.
Why was Ephesus abandoned? Although sacked by the Goths in 263 AD, Ephesus remained one of the most important cities of the Byzantine Empire after the city of Constantinople in the 5th and 6th centuries. However, other destruction by the Arabs in the year 8th century AD caused a quick decline. The city was largely abandoned when the harbor was completely filled in with river silt despite repeated dredges during the city's history. The silt removed its access to the Aegean Sea. When the Seljuk Turks conquered it in 11th century, it was a small village. The Byzantines resumed control in 1100 and kept control of the region until the end of the 13th century. During Byzantine period, the major settlement was in its first place at Ayasuluk, Hagios Theologos, Hill. Emir of Aydin, a Turkish state, conquered the city in 14th century. Starting from 16th century, city lost its importance and ruled by the Ottoman Empire.
Library of Celsus is one of the most beautiful structures of Ephesus, and the facade of the library has been carefully reconstructed from original pieces and looms large over the city. Originally built in 125 AD in memory of Tiberius Julius Celsus Ptolemaios, an ancient Greek who served as governor of Roman Asia 105 to 107 AD in the Roman Empire. Celsus paid for the construction of the library with his own personal wealth and is buried in a sarcophagus beneath it.
The Odeon, which was constructed around 150 AD by Publius Vedius Antoninus and his wife, is a small roofed theater and one of the finest architectural wonders of ancient Athens. The Odeon hosted plays and concerts and had seating for an estimated 1,500. The structure features Corinthian-style pillars made of red granite, and you can still see the steps leading up to the stage.
As a wealthy city, Ephesus had a number of agoras, some for daily wares and others for grander matters of state. Throughout the site you will find many agoras, carefully restored and reconstructed. This basilica was built in the 6th century AD by Emperor Justinian I. Now, close to the town of Selçuk, this ancient church is said to have been built over St. John's tomb.
The Great Theater of Ephesus is a splendidly preserved and very impressive building. This structure, built of marble, has a width of 145 meters, and its audience once reached up to 30 meters. In its heyday, it could accommodate up to 24,000 spectators. The theater was never covered by a roof. However, an awning was added in the middle of the 2nd century AD to provide weather protection for the spectators. The people in the audience could enjoy the performances comfortably as the steepness of the rows increases above each diazomata, to the benefit of those sitting at the back.
The Temple of Hadrian dates from the 2nd century but underwent repairs in the 4th century and has been re-erected from the surviving architectural fragments. The reliefs in the upper sections are casts, the originals now being exhibited in the Ephesus Archaeological Museum. A number of figures are depicted in the reliefs, including the Emperor Theodosius I with his wife and eldest son. The temple was depicted on the reverse of the Turkish 20 million lira banknote of 2001 to 2005 and of the 20 new lira banknote of 2005 to 2009.
The terrace houses at Ephesus, showing how the wealthy lived during the Roman period. Eventually, the harbor became silted up, and the city lost its natural resources. Most of the surfaces of the facade, apart from the columns, were decorated with reliefs of eagles, mythical scenes, patterns of stylized vegetation, including flowers, leaves and scrolling tendrils, as well as conventional motifs such as étendard, dentils, and palmettes. A surprising number of the carved blocks have survived, although many are now in the Ephesus Museum, Vienna.
Ephesus had one of the most advanced aqueduct systems in the ancient world. At least 6 aqueducts of various sizes supplied different areas of the city, including watermills, a sawmill and of course, a number of bath complexes. At each side of the wide stairway up to the library was an equestrian statue of Celsus. The inscriptions on the front and one side of both statue bases list his most important official titles, such as Consul and Proconsul of Asia. The reliefs of mythical themes, particularly of Apollo, and the statues of the Muses, apart from their direct religious connotations, are all allusions to literature and the arts fitting for a library.
The statues which originally stood in these niches when the building was completed was a female personification of the virtues of Celsus, indicated by the Greek inscription on the bases naming them. For example, Wisdom of Celsus, during your stay in Ephesus, you will be on your feet, vehicles are not allowed inside. Some parts are steep and uneven, while others are slippery marble surface. So wear your flat and most comfortable shoes. High heels are not recommended.
Ephesus is an open-air site and there's no shelter against rain or heat. It is recommended to wear cool cotton clothing, sun hats, sunglasses, or you can carry a sun umbrella just like most tour guides do. You should carry drinking water and sunscreen between May and September. If you are not prepared before, there are shops next to the entrance gate where you can purchase sun umbrella and water. Also note that, if you are planning to travel in summer season, it is best to visit Ephesus in the morning as it can be quite hot afternoon during summer. There is no dress code for female visitors. In Ephesus, it is completely okay to wear shorts, mini skirts, t-shirts, capris or sleeveless tops just like the most Turkish women do. Only exception is visiting a mosque.